over the last 20 years, 10%, there's been a 10% decrease in the amount of employers that are actually looking for unskilled workers. So again, placing that importance on higher education has been something that's really been happening in the last 20 years, and that shift is only going to continue. So again, speaking to the youth about higher education, its advantages, and how it can help you out with your employment practices, and how it can help you out with you being able to be employed is a huge piece. Now, I'm sure some of you all know someone that may be unemployed, right? May be unemployed for a while. And amongst the unemployment, 6% of the individuals that are unemployed have a bachelor's degree, 6%. And it's more than double for that of those that do not have a bachelor's degree, that have a high school education or less, at 14%. Again, so while a bachelor's degree won't necessarily shield you from the economy completely, obviously they may actually fare just a little bit better than someone who may not have at least a bachelor's degree or more. Now, I think that those facts are fairly obvious. We talk about that all the time on the news. But then, when I talk to my students and other individuals about the opportunities, they say, well, Dauv, tell me about the money. That's what I want to know. Well, tell me about how can that affect my pockets, right? How can it affect my money? Well, when it comes to salary, there's people that are way better at math than I that actually sit around and come up with these formulas. So bear with me with this formula. For every hour of post-secondary schooling, for every year of post-secondary schooling, that can be equivalent to 10% increase in your hourly wage, right? So for every year of post-secondary schooling, that can be equivalent to a 10% increase in your hourly wage. And it can be up to a 5% increase in the amount of hours you work per year. Now, when I tell my students that, or anybody else, you look at me like, okay, so what does that mean? I don't know how to do that math. What does that mean? Well, that essentially adds up to a 15% increase, 15% annual increase in your salary, right? So that's what that adds up to. Now, of course, that's for a 4-year degree. Now, one of my students cleverly asked, well, does it work the same way if I just stay in college longer then? Since, for every year I stay, then they can increase. And unfortunately, it does not. So I'm not trying to encourage you to be a 5th year, 6th year senior. Again, this is taking into account the numbers, the average 4 or 5 year graduate as well. But that can be a huge impact on somebody's salary, as you can imagine. Now, when we're talking about salary, we're talking about your job, getting employed, you can imagine that if you do not have a job or if your salary does not allow you to be economically stable, that can cause stress, right? Now, has anybody ever been stressed out before, ever? Just ever greatly stressed? Okay, that's what I would think. So that stress, as you all know, can have a big hindrance on your health as well. So one of the things that studies have actually showed is that higher education, or those with higher education, tend to be healthier than those without higher education. Now, I'm not trying to make it sound like college is the fountain of youth necessarily. I'm just saying that, on average, those that have a 4-year degree tend to be healthier than those without, for maybe a few reasons. Number one, you can imagine if you have a college degree, then of course that will increase your chances of being employed, and of course increase your chance of making a greater salary, thereby not causing you as much stress, and we all know stress can have an adverse effect on your health, right? It can have an adverse effect on your longevity as well. Another fact is, of course, when you have a 4-year degree, that can allow you to actually be a little bit more knowledgeable about your health as well. Individuals with 4-year degree tend to be a little bit more health conscious and tend to be a little bit more conscious when making decisions regarding their longevity as well. You make smarter decisions. Maybe you'll exercise, maybe you may quit smoking, maybe you eat healthier, things of that nature as well. And then lastly, individuals with a 4-year degree, if not more, also tend to have better access to healthcare as well. So with those factors, it can actually help you, you and those of you that you speak about in higher education, help you all become healthier individuals as well. So salary, right, jobs, employability, as well as health and longevity, some of the big advantages when it comes to higher education. Now, when I speak about it, it almost sounds like it's a magical tool, right? If you go to college, then everything will be great automatically, right? You don't have to worry about getting a job, you don't have to